So I think we can all agree that we wouldn't watch movies or TV shows, live streams, or even video calls if we weren't able to actually see what was happening on the screen or even see the person's face, which is why I'm going to be talking about lighting today. So give me 1 second while I turn some lights on so you can obviously see the before and after and why lighting is so important. Okay, so I think we can all agree that a bit of lighting definitely helps and plays a really big role when it comes to video content. So that's why today I'm going to be sharing with you a new product from Logitech that I think is actually one of the coolest products that they've come out with in quite a while personally. This is the Logitech Litra, and I think if you're working from home or you're someone who creates content and you're live streaming quite a bit, this is something that you want to be investing in to make it just a little bit easier for the viewer to connect with what you're trying to say. So this light costs in Australia right now at the time of recording about $99. It clips onto your monitor or your laptop webcam. It's adjustable, so it's got a little thing here so you can make it longer or shorter if you need to. You can put it onto a 1/4-20 thread. It's got some buttons on the back. The light is diffused. You can make it cooler or warmer, darker or brighter. It is a really handy compact little package, and it plugs in via USB Type-C at one end and just standard USB Type-A at the other. So I'm going to show you how I set it up in my live streams, how I actually use it with the software, and show you, I guess, a before and after on how much of a difference this little light makes. So if you found this video helpful and it helped you make a decision on whether or not this light was right for you, let me know down in the comment section. Chuck it a like if you enjoyed the content, get subscribed if you want to see more, and let's begin. Okay, so this is my gaming and streaming space. It's also where I work from home, and I share this space with my partner as well. But I guess more importantly, I want to show you the Logitech Litra and how it's actually set up on my monitor in case you were trying to, I guess, get an idea of how this will look on your own monitor. The cool thing about the light is that it all basically comes pre-assembled in the box, so you don't have to put anything together. And it has a little clip here on the front, which basically just rests on top of the monitor, sort of just hangs on here like most webcams do, which actually doesn't really impact the screen too much. It doesn't cover up any of the panel, but obviously your mileage may vary depending on your screen or your laptop. The actual light itself, you can tilt this backwards and forwards, you can pivot it, and then this back part, which sort of goes down the back side of the monitor here, you can actually raise this or lower it. So depending on the size of your screen, you can get it positioned just right so the actual light is actually hitting your face. Now, I just thought I'd put the camera in this position so you can actually see the light on the back side of it, and you can see how much you can pivot it. So this will basically go around 360 degrees. There's no way you can break it or over tighten it. But if you go the opposite direction, it will eventually click and come off, and so that way you can go ahead and put it onto a 1/4-20 thread mount if that's what you want to do, in case you want to use it on like a tripod or something like that. So really cool that they give you that option. It all basically comes pre-assembled in the box. You've got a little hook here which you basically pull out, and it just goes onto the monitor. And then if you want to raise it, you've got that arm so you can pull it up or down on a ratchet system, so that way it's in the perfect possible angle where the light's actually going to hit your face. On the back side, you've got that USB Type-C connection, so the cable comes obviously in the box. Just go ahead and plug that in, and then you've got a brightness adjustment here, brightness adjustment on the left side, power on and off in the middle, and then you've got the option here to make the light warmer or softer or cooler on the other side. So depending on your camera and the lighting and everything else going on in the room, you can really get this to be tweaked to your best possible setting, so that way you actually look really good on camera. So let me go ahead now and switch up the setup one more time. I'll put the camera into its streaming position, I'll get the screen recording software happening, and I'll get the Logitech software happening so you can see the adjustments that you can make to the light and what kind of impact that it has on camera. Okay, so here we are in the gaming streaming setup, and we're currently using a Logitech Brio webcam to try and, I guess, reproduce the same sort of quality that you might get from a laptop webcam or from a webcam that you might have from work or one that you have laying around the house. But at the moment, there is absolutely no lights turned on at all in this room. The curtains are shut. We've got a green screen behind me, which is not doing a very good job at all. But it's just to give you an idea of, I guess, how bad it can look when you're on a Zoom call and there is very little lighting in the room. You can probably see a second me just behind me as well, but that's because I've actually got the Sony DSLR camera also set up for streaming, which is what I normally use, which isn't necessarily looking very good right now with no lights. So it just, I guess, proves my point that even with an average webcam or a really good camera, that not having any lights at all doesn't necessarily make the most engaging, I guess, content to sort of watch or, for the viewer anyway. So let's go ahead now and turn on the Logitech Litra. When I do this, it's going to be about 50% brightness. So we'll turn that on. And you can see the difference it's made already. I definitely pop a lot more on screen. And if we turn off the Sony and when we now look at the webcam, so this is off and then on, off. So off, I just look very grainy, very pale. You can't really see much definition in my face. If we turn it on though, definitely we get a little bit more shape, and even the camera starts to smoothen out a little bit in terms of its frame rate, because before it was having to sort of really change the shutter speed so it could actually let in enough light, which definitely impacts how smooth I appear on camera. So at the moment everything's tracking pretty well. If I turn the light off, I start to smear and look quite blurry on camera. So obviously lighting has a big impact for how you actually appear, but it also appears to have a big impact on the actual smoothness and how you actually look on camera. Not so much on a expensive camera like a DSLR, like the camera is obviously built and it's got all the internal processing to compensate for low light conditions and things like that, but having a light definitely makes things better. So that's the Logitech Litra. That's a bit of a sort of off and then on for a DSLR, and then off and then on for a webcam. That being said though, in the actual software, let me just move my head out of the way for a second. You can see here in the Logitech G Hub software, you can go ahead and actually change the temperature of the light. So at the moment it's quite cool. If we bumped it up a little bit, you can see the impact it starts to have on my skin. And I mean, depending on your skin type, you might want to go ahead and play around with the temperature. And you can also do the brightness, so you can make it really dim if you don't need that much light. Or if you're in a really dark room, you can make it quite bright if you actually need to. But even with all the lights off and the curtain shut, I feel like 50% brightness is probably all that you need. And then with the Logitech software, one thing that's also really nice is because I have a Logitech keyboard, you can integrate a function key to turn the light on or off, or up and down, so you can make it cooler, warmer, dimmer, brighter. But I've just done something simple, which is on and off. So I just press G2 or F2 and it turns off the light, and I press it again and it turns it back on, which is very, very handy, and it means I don't have to stand up and reach behind the light. Now, just for fun as well, what I thought I'd do is just show you what it might look like if I turn on my lamps. So I've got two lamps and I've got an overhead RGB strip. So let me do those for you as well. So turn on one lamp, turn on another lamp, and then we'll turn on the RGB strip. And so this is, I guess, the most amount of light that I can possibly let into this room. And if we look at the Sony camera, definitely looks much better than if we were to go back and compare with just the one Logitech Litra. So if you have it in the budget, if you have some money in the budget to add some extra lights, like these are just some RGB light bulbs, I think they're like $10 or $15 each, and a $10 lamp from IKEA, definitely it's going to help. So if you are serious about streaming, or even semi-serious, and you want to just try and upgrade the video quality without having to spend a lot on a better camera or a better webcam, definitely getting some extra lights in the room is going to help. So Guys, let me know what you think of this Logitech Litra and whether or not you would consider getting one. If you enjoyed the video, I'd love to hear from you guys down in the comment section. Chuck it a like if you enjoyed the content. Get subscribed if you want to see more. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Cheers.